AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Is this cooler weather here to stay? Here's Lydia with our Agri-weather outlook.
We have turned the calendar into September, and September comes with big changes. At the start of the month in Fargo, the average high temperature is 78. By the end of the month, the average high is 72. Not a huge difference, but certainly cooling off. Where I think you notice more of a difference comes with daylight. September is the month that we lose the most amount of daylight, anywhere between 90 to 100 minutes, depending on where you live. Look at the sunrise time, 6:47. By the time we get to the end of the month, it's after 7 o'clock. In fact, closer to 7:30. Your sunsets, of course, getting earlier too. These numbers now for Sioux Falls. Sunset at 8:01 on the first day of September. By the last day of the month, almost a full hour earlier to 7:08 p.m. And then for Minneapolis, average high temperature on September 1st is 78. We bring that down to 73 by the end of the month. Look at these sunrise and sunset times. Sunrise at the end of the month after 7 o'clock and sunset before 7 p.m. So certainly noticing less and less daylight. The other thing that can happen during the month of September is our first frost. Looked at different locations and the 30-year average. So on average, when has the first frost happened within the past 30 years? All the way up in Winnipeg, late September. Grand Forks, North Dakota, the last day of the month, September 30th. Fargo on average is October 2nd, September 30th for Sioux Falls, September 26th for Rapid City, and then Rochester, Minnesota, October 3rd. So it's those final days of September into early October where we, on average, over the last 30 years, have seen our first frost. Of course, though, we've had this pattern lately with big cold fronts. Those fronts bring in colder Canadian air. And if you get the right combination of a clear sky and a light wind with one of those cold air masses in place, then patchy frost is going to be possible. It's just that time of year. Here's your jet stream setup as we go throughout about the next week or so. The cold air that's been in place slowly slides its way off to the east, allowing for a ridge in the jet stream to build in. That's that big bump in the jet. You can kind of see where those wind arrows line up. That allows warmer air to slowly build its way across the Rocky Mountains and then spread into the northern plains. As we get to about the middle to late parts of next week, we'll see a moderation in our temperatures and bring those a little bit closer to average for this time of year. So that's reflected here with your outlook maps. Off goes the blue on the map, sending that further off to the east. We start to warm things up and bring temperatures back closer to average. As we just looked at with those September numbers, though, average now is down into the 70s, no longer into the 80s. So that average mark, you have to mentally remember that that's even a little bit cooler. We continue to have above average temperatures here, now taking us to the middle of the month, this September 10th through September 16th. As for precip, there are signals for a little bit more of an active pattern, giving us chances for some moisture. That ridge in the jet stream sometimes allows for this southwesterly flow, and that can bring in these rain chances. But keep in mind that this is just compared to average, a little wetter than average. And in September, our average mark starts to go down a little.